the wealthy beggar and the coffee shop owner. In the heart of bustling New York City, where the streets never rest, there was a man who made everyone turn their heads. He wore an old, worn-out coat with frayed shoulders and faded colors. His appearance was dusty, no different from a wandering beggar. No one knew where he came from. People only noticed that each day he chose a different street corner to sit on, his eyes half closed, quietly observing the passing crowd. Some days he showed up at a sidewalk cafe. Other times he sat in front of a fast food restaurant. And there were days when he blended silently into noisy neighborhoods, lost among honking horns and hurried footsteps. The old owner of a nearby diner often glanced at him with disdain. "That beggar's here again," he sneered with a scornful laugh. Those around him nodded in agreement. Look at him, so shabby, yet always looking so pleased with himself. No one dared go near the man. He was too eccentric, too different from the crowd. But there was something unusual about him that caught people's attention. He never begged for money. On the contrary, anyone who happened to sit and talk with him, even for just a few minutes, walked away with something far more valuable than money: a lesson, an idea, or simply a new perspective. That day, at a small roadside cafe, people noticed the beggar sitting quietly in thought. Beside him sat the owner, a middle-aged woman frowning at her notebook. There are always plenty of customers, so why is the profit so little? The beggar suddenly spoke, his voice firm and clear.
"How many cups of coffee do you sell a day?"
Startled by the unexpected question, the woman replied anyway.
Around 200 cups of coffee.
"How much do you profit per cup?"
$1.
The beggar smirked, a faint, knowing smile flashing across his face.
"Then what if you raise the price to $6 per cup?"
The woman burst out laughing, as if she'd just heard something utterly absurd.
Are you crazy? Who would buy it?
The people nearby couldn't help but laugh as well, but the beggar didn't laugh. Instead, he quietly took a small pencil from his pocket and drew a simple diagram on the table.
People don't buy coffee. They buy the feeling of drinking it. If you make your customers feel special, they'll be willing to pay more.
The woman frowned, her voice full of doubt.
You want me to sell a feeling?
I want you to sell choice.
The cafe owner looked even more confused.
What do you mean?
The beggar didn't answer immediately. He pulled out an old piece of paper from his pocket and quickly wrote 3 lines. Traditional coffee, $4. Special coffee, $5. Premium coffee, $6. Then he slid the paper in front of her.
Starting tomorrow, put this board up.
The woman shook her head, worry written all over her face.
My regular customers will leave.
But the beggar only shrugged and calmly replied,
Try it. If it fails, I'll personally buy 1,000 cups of coffee from you.
The people nearby burst into laughter again, their voices echoing through the tiny cafe. The woman fell silent, thinking for a moment. In the end, she decided to give it a try, though doubt still weighed heavily on her mind. The next day, something strange happened. The small roadside cafe suddenly had a new price board hanging out front. People noticed and began whispering. It was $4 a cup yesterday, and now it's $6? That's way too expensive, one regular customer complained. But the most surprising thing was that no one left. Instead, curiosity took over. "What's premium coffee?" someone asked. "Let's try it and see if it's any different," another suggested. A week passed, and the cafe's revenue doubled. After a month, it tripled. And the most surprising part? Customers didn't choose the cheapest coffee. They flocked to the special option at $5 or even the premium at $6. It turned out, customers didn't care about cheap prices. They wanted to feel they were making a smart decision, a choice worth their money. And most importantly, the beggar had been right all along. One morning, the cafe owner saw the beggar sitting quietly in his familiar corner. She walked over and placed a steaming cup of coffee in front of him.
You weren't crazy after all. You knew this would happen, didn't you?
The beggar smirked, his mysterious smile returning.
Nothing is certain, but I know this. People don't buy based on price. They buy based on value.
He opened his old notebook, its pages filled with notes about people, habits, and customer psychology.
If there's only one option, people focus on price. But if there are multiple choices, they compare between them and often choose the middle one.
The cafe owner stood there, amazed, as if she'd just realized a simple truth. All this time, she had been selling the wrong way. A few months later, the beggar vanished from the city. No one knew where he went or even who he was. But one day, the cafe owner received a strange envelope. Inside was a small piece of paper with a few handwritten lines.
Value doesn't lie in the product. It lies in how you make your customers feel.
At the bottom was a scribbled signature.
The wealthy beggar.
From then on, the story of the mysterious beggar spread far and wide. People began to realize a few simple but profound lessons. First, price isn't the problem. It's how customers perceive value. A cup of coffee can be worth $4 or $6 depending on how you sell it. Second, giving customers choices makes them feel empowered. If there's only one price, they hesitate. But if there are three, they often choose the middle. And third, a brand isn't a product. It's the story you tell. Apple doesn't sell phones. They sell the feeling of being different. Starbucks doesn't sell coffee. They sell a lifestyle. The beggar disappeared. No one knows where he came from or where he'll go next. But those who met him, who listened to him, saw their lives change. And one thing is certain. He will return somewhere to help someone else who needs him.